the dependability rankings from JD Power, and
Yep.
GM was right behind Toyota. I asked you, I said, Dave, do you think GM could catch Toyota?
Hmm.
And you were like, I don't know, it's going to be hard. But I said at the time, I remember I said, I was like, the new engine they got coming out in that Tundra is a little bit suspect. I'm not 100% confident on it. And look,
Yeah.
my prediction has come true. This is crazy. So I think it'd be harder to catch Lexus, but I think they could catch Toyota.
Hmm.
Toyota has a new engine out. It's really complicated. It's like a twin turbo, and they're putting it in the new Tundras. This might be an opportunity for GM to catch up to Toyota. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 wrenches in my top drawer. The Tundra V6 self-destruction. It looks like they found out what the problem was, and Toyota is issuing a recall. And this is an article from The Drive. I'll put the link in the description if you want to read the whole thing, but we're going to sum it up right now.
Hmm.
Toyota is recalling more than 100,000 current generation Tundra pickups and Lexus LX SUVs in North America because machining debris may be loose inside their engines. This applies to certain 2022 to 2023 Tundra and LX models powered by the relatively new V6 twin turbo. The engine has been subject to hefty skepticism over its reliability compared to previous naturally aspirated V8s. All right, so it looks like machining debris is the problem with all these Tundra engines. Dane, did you expect this to happen?
Not with Toyota.
Yeah,
Um, no, they've got a
Toyota.
Toyota, Toyota.
Toyota. How
Whatever.
you let this happen, Toyota or Toyota?
Yeah, I don't know how Toyota let this happen. They're
You can
usually
say
really good.
Toyota. I like when you say Toyota.
Toyota. I like the way I say it better too. You know what? Everybody needs to get on board
Yeah,
with what
just
I'm doing.
everybody changed to the way Dane says it.
Yeah, I say it right. Even the Japanese don't even know how to say it right.
That's right. All right, so yeah, this is a 3.5 liter twin turbo V6. This is a voluntary recall. Approximately 102,000 Toyota Tundras and Lexuses. Dane, what is going on? How did Toyota let this happen?
I don't know. Somehow something slipped through the cracks. Maybe somebody had a bad month because that's a lot of engines
Yeah,
all in a row. Something obviously went wrong in the manufacturing process and it didn't get caught. Uh, I'm not sure how long this has been going. Obviously, not very long because that engine hasn't been out long, but it sounds like they're
it's
reacting
a
pretty
couple years.
quickly.
This react. A couple years they're recalling.
Oh, is it a
Let's
couple
see.
years? Okay.
Or it says
Well,
the article states during a specific production period, there is a possibility that engine machining debris of a particular size and amount may not have been cleared from the
mhm,
engine during manufacturing and subsequently contaminated the engine assembly during the production process.
mhm,
Yeah, I mean this kind of thing does happen. I don't think it's like a blight on Toyota as a whole company. These
mhm,
hiccups, they sometimes happen. I gotta tell you a quick story. I'm not
mhm,
going to say exactly where this happened because it's kind of I used to work there, but there was a problem with one of the transmissions, and people on the line, they actually there was like a real small part that they had to reach their hand in there to
mhm,
put in somewhere, and if they dropped it, this part it would fall deep into the transmission, and you wouldn't be able to get it out. So what they would do is they would put a little piece of cloth down there to catch it just in case they weren't able to put it in all the way. It was
mhm.
like a roll pin or something, I think.
Yep.
And somebody had accidentally left the cloth in there. Like
Mhm,
it happened like a few times. And that was like a big deal at the factory. People had to come in when they weren't scheduled, and it was a whole big thing because the transmission had gone out, it got warranty. They came back and there's little pieces of cloth in there. They're like, "What the heck is that?" So,
mhm.
oh no, these things happen.
These things do happen. Sometimes, tooling gets dull too, and when tooling's dull, it doesn't always deburr like the tooling chips the way that you want them to. So when that thing's sitting there spinning, it's supposed to be pulling chips with it, and chips being like the pieces of like the metal from the engine block. And so if one's still stuck at the end and it's kind of curled, it could easily wiggle and break loose and go through the engine and cause some damage. But usually when there's dull tools, stuff like that gets caught pretty early on. You might get a few runs here, bad parts, but yeah, something like this is kind of some precedent from Toyota. I'm surprised, not quite
Yeah,
upset with them, but I'm just surprised that they'd let something like this
surprise.
slide. Yeah.
Dave, you remember when we did the show about the dependability rankings from JD Power, and
Yep.
GM was right behind Toyota?
Yeah.
And I asked you, I said, Dave, do you think GM could catch Toyota?
Hmm.
And you were like, I don't know, it's going to be hard. But I said at the time, I remember I said, I was like, the new engine they got coming out in that Tundra is a little bit suspect. I'm not 100% confident on it. And look,
Yeah.
my prediction has come true. This is crazy.
I feel like you've got insider knowledge and you are baiting me into
No, I
this.
don't work. I don't work there to work.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think that they will get to the bottom of this problem, and I
Hmm.
think that eventually this engine will be good. But my personal opinion is the 2021, I believe, is the last year of the 5.7 V8
Hmm.
naturally aspirated. If you were thinking of buying a new truck, I would get the 2021
Hmm.
because there's no turbos in there and it's a lot easier to work on. If you're planning on putting a lot of miles on it, like if you're planning on like being doing it, using it for contracting or something
Hmm.
like that, where you need it for work, get the 2021 because these turbos are expensive. Then you remember the last story we did about that Corolla and the guy blew up the engine from shifting it wrong, and we
Yeah.
looked at
Yep.
the invoice and how much the turbo for that was it like
Yeah.
$5,000?
Yeah. They're not cheap, especially when they're new like this. You
Oh
can get
yeah,
cheap old turbos or like, stuff that's been in production forever. There's millions of them out there, but when you got new designs, they're cooled. Yeah, they're not cheap.
and yeah, and this turbo's got. I mean, this Tundra has two of those turbos.
Yep.
So could you imagine? I mean, turbos they don't last forever, right? I mean, they can last a long time, but you
Hmm.
really have to stay on the maintenance perfectly. And if you mess up, if you're like a contractor or something, and you go too long on an oil change and a couple of those turbos blow, you're going to
Yep.
be paying a lot of money because this engine's hard to work on already.
Yeah, anytime you put turbos under the hood, it just crams everything else that much tighter. So, yeah, if you're going to get one of these, frequent oil changes is a big one, and make sure you're not doing hot shutdowns. So,
Yeah,
hot shutdowns meaning like heavy pulls, as hard on as you can possibly be, and then just turn it off. Like you need to like let it run for a little bit, let it slowly cool down. Most of these
yeah,
turbos are liquid cooled too to help with that. But
yeah.
yeah, hot shutdowns can really hurt turbos too.
Yeah, Dane, you know our friend Tom said that
Yep.
exact thing. I had
Hmm.
him on the podcast was talking about turbo maintenance,
Hmm.
and yeah, he said to avoid the hot shutdowns. Make sure to change your air filter. Make sure to change your coolant. Change your oil when you're
Yep.
supposed to with the factory fluids.
Yep.
I do think the engine. I think they'll work through these problems, but just in the future, for just as far as the cost of repair, get the 2021. Dane, I think the 2021 is going to go down in Tundra history as the last good year for extreme high mileage. I'm talking two, three, 400,000 miles. I think this one now will get to 200 easy, but after that, you want the 5.7 or the 4.6. I guarantee you that.
Yep. Time will tell. They got some bugs to work out on this new motor, and it's to be expected that with anything new. But yeah, it's hard to beat the tried and true V8, and that 5.7 V8 just was so durable for so many years. And its predecessor before that, that 4.7, was a great engine too. You just couldn't
Oh
kill
yeah.
that thing. Those things would go well over 300,000 miles. So Toyota's got a
Dane,
good history.
Dane, I
Yeah.
saw the one. There was one that got to 1 million miles. The 4.7. I saw it when I used to work at Toyota.
No kidding.
They brought it back from the guy that drove it, and they
Hmm.
brought it down. It was like right in the garage, like where they were testing all my prototypes and stuff too.
No
So I
kidding.
got to
That
I
was
got to I got to right under it, and it was a good shape.
no
It
kidding.
was a
That was a
good
Tundra.
shape. Yeah, just the bed was all banged up.
No kidding.
Like
Well,
like
so
because the
got
guy
used too.
yeah, the guy used it. The guy was transporting parts for a oil company back and forth. He was called a wildcatter, I think.
No kidding. So he's just running back and forth all across the country, this truck.
That's all he did. I mean, 10 years he put on 1 million miles, about 100,000 a year.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Get you a Toyota pickup with a V8 in it. You'll go a
Get
million
them,
miles.
get them while you still can. All
Yeah.
right. Well, well, that's what we got for you today. Thank you for tuning in and have a good one.
Yeah. See you guys.